Cares is proudly sponsored by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation. And we're out and about in the metro, despite a pandemic, safely distanced. We are on the campus of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And I want our audience to take a little test. Did you know that Judge Winberzer, a U.S. magistrate, was a student here? Karen Orr is CEO and president of Providence Hospital, a KCK community college student at one time. Mark Dupree, the Wyandotte County District Attorney. Jeff Harrington, the mayor of Bonner Springs, all were on this campus at one point, broadening their education, their view of the world on this great place. And we are joined today by Dr. Greg Mosier, who runs the show out here at KCK Community College. It's so nice to see you. We are safely distanced.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It's wonderful seeing you again, Ruth. It has been a while, and although we are not masked at this moment, we do have a mandatory mask rule on any of our locations, which has been going really well, working with trying to provide the education we need for our students, but in a really safe environment. So thanks for having me on today.
It's great to have you back. It's nice to see you after, I think, one of our last shows before the pandemic came and put us all kind of in this lockdown where we're at. I want our audience to revisit with me all the things that the college has to offer. Give us a little snapshot, if you will, of KCKCC.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So first of all, KCKCC has been around for almost 100 years. We're getting ready to celebrate our centennial in the fall of 2023. We have multiple locations where I'm sitting here today with our main campus at 7250 State Avenue. And then just down the road, we have our Technical Education Center. And then we also have our site in Leavenworth, our Pioneer Career Center. And we offer everything for our community that really what the community needs. So we start off, we have ESL, we have GED for high school completion, a variety of transfer degrees in the arts and sciences for students to prepare and get their first 2 years of college at a much more affordable rate here at KCKCC, and then transfer to one of our 4-year partners. And then really we've had a lot of growth in our technical education program. So we offer everything from computer information technology to drafting, culinary, cosmetology to welding and plumbing, HVAC, construction, mortuary sciences, and the list goes on. So we have over 100 offerings that we offer to really try and meet the needs of our students and our community.
Currently, I think you have over 9,000 students, if I read my background correctly.
Right.
Who is the typical student, or is there a typical student here?
Well, we have a broad range of students. We say we serve from 17 to 70, but actually the ages go beyond each end of that spectrum. So we have students that come directly out of high school and come to us. We offer programs while the students are still in high school. So dual and concurrent enrollment for high school students to get an extra jump on their education at no cost to them. And then we have adults that are coming back, maybe they're skilling up. With the pandemic, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. We had just a huge part of our community that was displaced in their work because of COVID-19. Many of the service sectors that laid off so many are coming back, and they're saying, you know what, I want something a little bit different. We talk about that, would be pandemic free, so to speak. Because when you look at all the healthcare positions across our county and the state, there's a great need for hospitals and for nurses and CNAs and physical therapy assistants. And then also in the technologies. There was a little dip, but manufacturing keeps going on. Construction continues to build, and just more great announcements taking place across Wyandotte County in those areas. And they provide more security and really great paying jobs and careers in these areas. So we're planning for increased enrollment in the semesters ahead, and providing education and training in areas that have the skills that meet the business and industry needs of our community.
Well, it's great to hear that you're continuing on and you're growing, and it's not a story of a shutdown.
Right?
Since we were last together, as I mentioned earlier, it was all pre this.
Hmm.
How walk us through how the college dealt with it in the beginning and where you are now in making sure
Sure.
your students, your faculty, your staff are safe.
Sure, absolutely. So my number one thing is safety first. Safety, health, and well-being of our students, of our employees, and our community first. So, when the state and the county went into a mandatory shutdown, the stay-at-home orders, it was right before spring break for us. So our faculty and staff, they got together and everything moved online, which was a dramatic change for us and education across the country. So we extended spring break for our students for 2 weeks to allow to get all of our classes transitioned into that online and a virtual environment. And by virtual, I mean synchronous education back and forth, like we're doing for communication here today. And then we were planning, as this evolved, at some point we knew that we would be able to come back to our facilities, maybe in a reduced capacity, but to prepare for students to come back, and finish up their classes or get ready to register and such. So the stay-at-home order ended on, I think, like May 13th or 14th. It was a Thursday. We were ready to go, and we reopened on May 18th. It was a Monday, and weeks and honestly months earlier than any other higher education institution in the Metro KC. We had a great team that put together the Blue Devils comeback plan that outlined everything that we need to do. So since May 18th, we've been open. Masks have been mandatory. We did temperature checks and everything through the summer. We went away from that because it was shown that it was really not a good indicator. But we have check-ins, get a daily report on if there are any COVID positive individuals, employees, or students on campus. And we do have that from time to time. Again, we have a lot of people working in the healthcare environment, so they might catch it at their workplace. They come for a class and then they find out that they were positive. So we self-isolate, we spray the rooms, electrostatic spray the rooms, and we have a really good cleaning regimen in place. And the plan that we wrote, I actually posted it on my Twitter account, and it was picked up by the American Association of Community Colleges. And it was a good plan. I mean, our people really did a great job on it. And it was used as a national model on how to come back and how to get students back into the classrooms in a safe environment. So we've been helping students online and physical, because a lot of our students are not as successful in a technology mode. And we've been serving students that way since May 18th. And we had classes this summer. More of the hands-on courses did their work, physically, and then they did their lectures online. And we're continuing doing that in the fall, having great success. And we're looking at doing that in the spring as well. So just so that we can ensure that, one, we need health and safety first, but then we need to provide the education and training that our community really desperately needs so they can get back and be employed, have an income for themselves and for their family, and so they can put food on their plate, pay their mortgage, and all of those things. It's critical that we're open, and we're really here to serve the community. So that's what we're doing.
Well, congratulations to you for being able to pivot and be recognized for your plan as a national example of how to do it right. That's tremendous. Kudos to you and your team.
Yeah, they did a great job.
What kind of feedback are you hearing from, let's say, faculty first and students about this kind of new way to educate, at least for the time being?
Hmm. Sure, sure. And there was a lot of people that were nervous in the beginning, because they didn't know what to expect. But that is, people are getting comfortable in this new environment. We had to do a lot of training for our faculty and our staff to engage. So both faculty and staff, they're feeling good about what is going on. Um, some faculty and some students are better in a technology-based delivery format than others. So we have a staff in our learning center that continues to help both our faculty and our students who may be struggling in this environment. And that's why we're continuing to do face-to-face as well. So if there are students that are struggling, we have tutors that are available in our learning commons areas and in our divisions. But then we also have tutors that are available online as well. And we're really learning a lot about how to deliver education in this manner, and how we do it differently to keep people safe, but still meet the needs of the educational program. Our music department is a great example, and they're really creative. So they have their large choirs may have 30 people in it. Well, we don't have, we're not putting 30 people in a room, and they all have to be masked. They all have to be 6 feet apart. So every once in a while, you'll hear this beautiful music going on, and you walk around the corner, and they're outside, and they're spread out in these beautiful grassy fields, and just singing, and the bands are playing, and it's a great sound, but we're really giving those students what they need to be successful. And we have lots of examples in construction technology. They're doing a lot of the work outside, where they can spread out, or we have smaller student groups together instead of a group of 8 or 10 students on a project. Just all across the area, they're being really innovative and creative for the education that they have to deliver, and the students appreciate that as well. So we always have areas that we need to work on, and we're doing that. But especially lately, people are saying, we are so glad that you are open. It brings some normalcy to our lives, and especially for our students and our high school students who are not having physical high school, especially in Kansas City, Kansas, USD 500. They're going to go back face to face in the spring, but we have their students coming to the college, and they're a great partner providing transportation, even though they're not physically open, to get their students here at KCKCC so that they can engage in the programs that they started maybe the year before, or it's their first semester.
I love that your music students are still partaking. I mean, I think that's something that many people are missing, is the cultural side of things, and music with concerts and performances, et cetera, has been so limited, if almost non-existent.
Yes.
Is there anything that surprised you as you've moved through this now months and months long situation?
Well, we're surprised that we continue to be in the environment. We were hoping that we would be coming out of the environment, this last month, but that's not the case. So, we're planned to be this way all the way through the spring. And like I say, we're learning as situations arise that we haven't approached in the past. We're learning how to deal with those as well. But probably one biggest surprise, and shouldn't be a surprise, is just how dedicated all the faculty and staff are really going above and beyond because we're doing everything that we normally do, plus COVID, right? Plus the student housing project, plus the development of a downtown campus, plus this and that. And nothing is slowing us down. That's absolutely for sure.
Well, let's move off of COVID. It's, we don't know how long that's going to continue, but we know it's going to hang around. But here on the main campus, you just mentioned the student housing project. Can you share with us details of that and why you decided to move forward with having students on campus, living here?
Absolutely. So we have had student housing through an apartment complex that we lease out multiple buildings, and our students have lived in that. But we're really at a time where we need to have more options for our students for housing and to provide additional recreational and social activities as well. So we're right in the midst of it. In fact, this afternoon we have our third charrette to go through the design and the structure of the building. It's 100,000 square feet. It'll house 260 individuals, 250 students. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. It's a concrete build, so I have all the basement areas, a storm shelter, but also we have a 3,000 square foot Blue Devil den that is being put in that has all the gaming and all the pool tables and foosball and all of that stuff, so students can go and hang out and decompress, and study nooks built, in. So it's really going to be a great addition to KCKCC. It's the first building project, a true from the ground up building project for the college for decades. So it's time to do it. We're excited about it. We should break ground in the end of January or February and open up fall 20 or summer 2022. So it's really exciting. It's a really exciting project.
Well, my question would be, it's a community college, so why do you need housing? Doesn't everybody just live at home?
Yeah. Well, we have students coming in from other areas, and we have 8 athletic teams, right? So we do some recruiting for that. So they come in and gives them a place to stay. Some of our students may not live directly where the college is. So instead of commuting, then they would rather come and stay on campus. And some students, they're just ready. They're ready to leave the nest and go to college. And my belief is we should be able to offer them the same environment as if they were going through a 4-year university. So this is a big addition to what we will be able to offer our students.
We're talking with Dr. Greg Mosier, president of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And after this break, we're going to talk about new and exciting plans for the college in downtown Kansas City, Kansas. Welcome back to KC Cares. We're chatting with Dr. Greg Mosier of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. And we've kind of, I think, beaten the pandemic horse into, down to submission. But you were telling us about the exciting plans for having student housing, new construction here on the campus on State. But you've got big things rolling that we did talk about earlier in the year. But you've got more detail on this downtown education center. Bring us up to speed and what's going on with that.
Oh, absolutely. And so this is an exciting project. We've been working on it for more than a year. And really what started this conversation is as I looked at Wyandotte County and I looked at the social and economic characteristics of our county from the west side to the east side. I think many of our listening audience knows that as you travel from the west to the east, the level of education continues to decline. The health factors continue to decline. The employment percentages continue to decline. And there was just a report that came out from, I think it's the Johnson Woods study on the health of counties across the entire country. Well, Wyandotte County is a great place to live and work. We have the highest weekly wage, average weekly wage in the state. So Johnson County is number one. I think around to the south, Wichita area has the second, and we have the third highest income per week. It's around $1,071 on an average. Yet Wyandotte County is the last county in the state for all health indicators. So just total overall health, we're 104 out of 104. Quality of life, we're 104 out of 104. And in many of these other areas, socioeconomic mobility, 104 out of 104. The reason for that, what I believe, is that we have great jobs. We don't have people that have the skill sets that can attain those jobs and careers. So part of our mission is to serve the community. So we are looking at a downtown location for KCKCC, but it's grown since we talked. We are now looking at 119,000 square foot building. It will be KCKCC. It will be the University of Kansas in the building. We'll still work with our dear partner at Donnelly College in programmatic areas. The YMCA has been trying to get back downtown since they lost their location in 2018. Wyandotte Behavioral Health Network is looking at being in the building, and High Aspirations, a youth mentorship program, is looking to be in the building, and we have other people asking about it now. So we call it a community education center because many people who live downtown, they need some additional help. You know, it's not equality, it's equity. So some need more help than others. So we're providing the wraparound services so that they can take care of some of the issues that they may have to free their mind to learn. So we will have a large construction technology program with our partners like J.E. Dunn and the other construction companies in the area. Advanced manufacturing, we'll have a large advanced manufacturing area. We're going to do biomechanics for work in that bio field with animal health sciences, and partner with KU on program completion at the bachelor's degree. And if people need some help in the other areas, then we can work with our partners and send our students to those partners as well. YMCA will have some short-term drop-off for childcare, so people can drop off their children for a little while right there in the same building and take classes. We'll have ESL, GED, and then working with KU and Donnelly all the way up to 4-year completion. And it's all downtown. It's right in the heart of the urban core, because if we provide education and training for the people who don't have it, then they will be eligible to obtain these $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year jobs that are out there, because we have all the jobs, but we need to keep the money in our community instead of people coming from other counties working for the day, having these really high paying careers, and then they take the money outside of Wyandotte County where they live. So we need to keep it at home, and we need to provide the education and training to help our own neighbors get these high paying jobs so that they can improve their life and the life of their family, and really looking at ending generational poverty. So it's an exciting project. We're getting ready to start a capital campaign for that, looking to raise about $50 million. And our goal is to, right now, because the size of the building, is to have a groundbreaking by fall 2023, which is our centennial year. And we will be 2 blocks from where we started 100 years ago. So it's exciting. There's a great buzz around it, and we're going to be ready to get going on that project when we can.
So everybody needs to get out their checkbooks.
That's right. That's right.
Do you have some commitments already so that you can roll it out? Because that's a big chunk of change.
That is a big chunk of change. This is our first capital campaign for the college, and it's, go big or go home. So we are going big so we can meet our community needs. The college, KCKCC, has already allocated $10 million to this project. And we are talking with other family foundations and philanthropic organizations to help support us in this effort. Also looking at local, state, and national funding, and a whole mix of funding buckets to really build this incredible community education center downtown.
Now, these partners that you mentioned, will they have skin in the game in terms of financial commitment?
They will. So what we're trying to do, our goal is to raise the money to build the facility, and then our partners will help in that fundraising effort with their connections, and we will approach connections in a group as well. And that way, when we have the building built, if there's not a huge mortgage on it, so to speak, and bonds to pay off, then we can operate at a very low expense for our partners. So they'll have long-term leases basically, but it's just an operational lease because they've already paid to help build the building, right? So make 40, 50 years and first right of refusal. But they're just, the cost would be to help with janitorial, security, IT, some R&R, and just really make it affordable so that we can create a sustainable downtown facility that will just continue for generations to come.
And the exact location in the downtown area?
We are just about ready to release that.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, you're very close though. Your timing's really close.
Well, put us among the first to know, and we will certainly share that with our audience, at least through our social media channels. That's
Absolutely.
so exciting. I have to ask, for you personally, what's it been like, handling the pandemic and all that brings? And then on the other hand, you've got this tremendous, exciting new endeavor going on at the same time.
Sure. I love what I do, so it's just natural for me. But we spend a lot of hours, and my team and others as well spend a lot of hours working on just our regular operations as a college, all of these special projects and COVID. Everyone has stepped up so much to do the work that we need to do to accomplish all these different areas, and to make sure that everyone is being safe and healthy and not overdoing it too much as well. But my heart's in the 2-year sector, and I love community colleges, and I love to build things that will help people. And I think these projects are just right in line with what the community needs. And it's really at the heart of what a community college does. So I love it.
Community colleges as opposed to 4 years.
Sure. So I've worked in both sectors, New Mexico State University and Oklahoma State University, and then community colleges as well. And I've seen it. I would say I believe it, but I've seen it, how a community college can help someone get the education and the skills that they need to change their lives forever. And it's within the maxes and within about 2 years. It's harder to get things done in a 4-year university, especially in a system where you have multiple layers that you have to go through. And community colleges, we are very nimble, and we can respond to what the community needs, and we can put in place something that will improve the lives for our students for years to come. I mean, we have programs that students will come out of in construction technology, and this downtown project where we're partnering with the high schools. We'll be taking high school juniors and seniors, and they will only come to the new facility for their construction technology degree, but they'll also stay on campus and do their general education courses for high school completion. So they'll graduate from high school, they'll graduate with an associate's degree, they will have work experience in the field, and they will probably leave making between $40,000 and $60,000 a year as high school graduates, college graduates, and in the apprenticeship line in construction. So that's exciting to me. That's just super exciting.
Well, you're doing amazing things out here. Thank you for hosting us, and we will certainly share with our audience all kinds of images and things, and we look forward to our next conversation. Thank you for listening to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit portal, produced by Charitable Communications. We're proudly sponsored by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation. If you'd like to be a guest on KC Cares or underwriting opportunities to support the work we're doing, please visit kccaresonline.org and spread the love. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at KC Cares Radio and on Instagram at KC Cares Online. Thank you for joining us on KC Cares.